Today, we shall talk about leadership in a growing multilateral alliance. I like to divide this in three. Let's first talk about the mega trends. What are the big things out there that change the world, that shape the future, where our leadership will roll out? Second, let's talk about what characterize great leaders today. What characterize great leadership teams today? And last but not least, let's talk about what this will mean to you as individuals. Starting with mega trends, let me point to three mega trends that I see as very important today. First, the move from west to east. I think we will all agree that economic growth we see in the east, not so much in Europe or in the United States. So markets in the east will be growing, we will have our focus there. But what happened last time we had economic concentration, like in the US after the Second World War? It was not only economic influence, it was also political influence, and it was also ideological, it was cultural influence. So if we think about this move from the west to the east, what will this imply also in terms of a different ideological, a different cultural influence in the world? Let's think a little bit about that. Second, most people will agree that a lot of governments are not doing that good today. We have just seen the US struggling. We see a lot of countries in Europe where governments are really not doing too good. But when we look to corporations, well, 2 out of 3 corporations in the first half of 2011 came out with better financial results than was expected by the stock market. So I would suggest that for the time being, corporations are generally doing good, governments are not doing good. And what will this mean if we also think about the move from the west to the east? Well, it will mean that we will have to look to corporations for the solutions we will be looking for. And then let's think about the third megatrend. I will call it from greed to generosity. There are many explanations on the financial crisis that we saw in 2008, 9, and 10, and that we're still struggling with. But I think that one common denominator across the different countries and markets is that it's been driven by greed. What we want instead of greed is generosity and responsibility. So companies, individuals that are generous, that are responsible, these are the people, these are the companies, and that's their products and services that we favor, that we choose to buy. So I like to think about this movement from greed to generosity in the world as a mega trend. I think we will see a lot more of that in the years to come. If we then look at great management teams these days, I would suggest that there are 5 things that characterize them. First of all, they focus. Focus meaning that they know what are the few things they should do that will make the biggest difference. So fewer things is part of focusing. Second, they have organizational alignment. Strategy is not only something that's been figured out by the executive board, it's something that talks to the heart of all people in the organization. They have all been involved in some way or another in discussing what does this strategy actually mean for us. So organizational alignment. Third, consistency. Strategies look very nice on paper. When they meet reality, sometimes it turns out to be rather difficult. But great teams, great management teams, what they do is when they have a course, they stick to the course. So consistency in what you do, when you follow your strategy, that's the third very important part of being focused, and that's what great management teams do. Fourth, they unload. They spend a lot of time thinking what they should not do. We all have to-do lists. They also have not to-do lists. They spend a lot of time thinking about what I'm doing. Could someone else do that? And fifth and last, they stay the course. They are consistent and they stick to what they believe and to what they have agreed in their strategy. Then last, let's think about what this means to you as individual leaders. And I would suggest 2 things. First of all, that you try to be focused yourself, that you spend some time on reflection on what this will really mean to you and what the few things that you should do would be. So leadership in the future is about focus, the few things that really makes the biggest difference. And second, it's about trust. It's about building trust in relations between staff and management, between company and customers, between company and the society of which we are parts. So the key essence here is leadership in the future. It's about being focused and it's about building trust. But it's been a pleasure serving you this hour and a half, so thank you very much.